What's going on, guys? One, love out to everybody. We got UFC Fight Night, Pavlovich versus Blaydes. Predictions, breakdown here, guys. We're going to fly through this real quick. We got 12 fights here over there in UFC Apex Cage, which is a smaller cage. Could favor the wrestlers, them, depending on the wrestler, could smaller cage, or it could favor the striker, depending on the striker, right? All depending on the person. Before I get started, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel. Also, check out my Patreon account for all my face-off prediction and pop plays. You can also donate to my PayPal account to help me out with this channel, so you can spend more time doing this more full-time, right? Last couple cards there, we're not going to talk about that too much. We're just going to look forward and go forward, man. Whatever you're doing, always look forward and go ahead. Every day is your day. Every moment is your moment. There's always a moment. Never dwell on the past. Look to the present. At any moment, it can be yours if you want it to be, right? So whatever mistakes you may have in your life or years back or way back in the days, just work on it. Make yourself better mentally, physically, and spiritually, and keep pushing forward, man. Don't dwell on the past. Don't hold on to things, because when you hold on to things too tight, you end up losing it, right? You gotta let go, move forward, and your moment will come. There's always moments for you, man. It's all magical. Anything can happen at any moment, as long as you put the work in. That's it. Let's knock this out real quick here, guys. 12 fights in the card. It's an interesting card. Got some good matchups here. Like I said, every card is good to me. You know, the guys come in here and put the work in. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to come in here and get punched in the face and get submitted and get concussions, get brain damage. So if these guys are in there and they're putting on a show, enough respect, enough love out to everybody. All right, let's knock this out real quick. First fight here, we got Batgerel Danaa, I may mispronounce that, versus Blaydes DEC. Let's see here, guys. Got my notes here. Always got my notes, man. Danaa here is a heavy hitter. He's going to be the more experienced guy here, in my opinion, right? He packed power. But he can get flat-footed at times, but he will push forward though. Can eat a lot of leg kicks too, because it's kind of flat-footed at times. His takedown defense is not too bad, and he's been training with a lot of, you know, a lot of high-caliber wrestlers. I believe he's training with Cejudo and Demetrius Johnson, just to name a two, which those guys are pretty high-level wrestlers, man. He will also look for takedowns too, right? His opponent here, Blaydes, coming off the contender series, not contender series, coming off the Tough. I believe it was on Tough season 29. Blaydes is more of a grinder. As a wrestler, is going to push a high pace, but his striking is not really there too much, and he's pretty hittable, man. I just feel like with Danaa is more experienced here and more well-rounded, and Blaydes will come forward and look for takedown, but in the process of that, he's eating shots. And a guy like Danaa packed power, man. So I feel like Danaa should have a win here. With Blaydes would, you know, would look for takedowns and mix it up a little bit there. But he can get scrambled on. You can reverse on him, depending on the fighter he's fighting, right? I just feel with Danaa training with, you know, with Cejudo and all those other guys, he's gonna come in there, you know, well prepared. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Danaa here. I'm gonna say Danaa by Danaa. I'm gonna say Danaa by KO in the first round, but I'm not confident. I say this more of a 50-50. You know, so I mean, if Danaa doesn't stop the takedowns, then Blaydes will grind him out. And Blaydes is a grinder, but I just feel Blaydes is just so hittable, dude. And he can get a knockdown in the first round. He can get knocked out. So I believe he's been knocked out before too. So anything is possible in this game, guys. Like I said, nothing when it comes to predictions and all these things, nothing guaranteed here, you know. So you can say, oh man, this guy's gonna win, and then, you know, even on paper he may look good. He just goes in the fight and drop the ball. It happens, man. The last couple cards there, it happens, but we're pushing forward with that. Pushing forward. All right, never dwell on the past. Keep pushing forward. Been knocked out one time there, so we're gonna go with Blaydes here. Sorry, not Blaydes. We're gonna go with Danaa here, and we're gonna say Danaa by KO in the first round, but I'm not confident, guys. Okay. Next fighter, we got Priscila Cachoeira versus Karine Silva. Cachoeira here, lots of forward pressure. She's very, very aggressive. And she's actually durable too. Heavy-handed, but she can get taken down depending on the person that she's fighting. Like I said, there's going to be a smaller cage, so depending on the person that she's fighting, she will get taken down, right? But her takedown defense has been getting better, but she does brawl though. And she's going to have the speed advantage here in this fight, right? Her opponent here, Silva, is coming off the Contender Series here. And she had a fight against Paulina Bontello, which she got a dodge stroke. Silva here has a 100% finish rate, man. I mean, it's half and half knockout and submission game. But she can spend the entire round on her back, just throwing up submissions and not getting it. So when you see that, it's not good, man. Especially against Cachoeira, which Cachoeira, I believe got submitted before. So, so it's a possibility she can hang out on her back and pull off a submission. It's possible. She will look for the submission here. That's Karine Silva. Let me see here. She's well-rounded. When I say well-rounded, it all depends. The person you're fighting to. You may be well-rounded and you go into the fight, and then like majority of the skills you're using just doesn't work. You just can't pull it off. You can't get no submissions. Let me see here. She was scrambled back to her foot, but what I see mostly is that she's on her back, and her striking it's there. She fights long. It's not super technical, but she can use it to to push her submission game, right? But it's experience here. I know Bontello is a little bit kind of experienced, but she drops the ball a lot, but I look at more at this fight as more the pressure thing here, man, because what I see from Silva is that you can tie her up and you can pressure her, and she doesn't do as well. But this is a tough one here too, guys. I'm not confident in this pick here, but a person like Cachoeira can get submitted. But what I see from Silva, sometimes she will look for submissions and she can't get it. But no, if she's on top now, in the top position, then I feel Cachoeira may be in problems. But I feel if Silva is on our back, I feel Cachoeira is going to land on heavy strikes. You know what I'm saying? So, and even on the foot, I feel of the striking, I feel Cachoeira is just a more heavier striker here. Be careful with this one here, guys, man. I'm going to go with Cachoeira here. I'm going to say Cachoeira by first round KO TKO, 50-50, but I'm not confident. Because a girl like Silva, like I said, she fights long and she has a submission game, but I just see holes. I just see like she can get backed up in the cage, and she would just hold you for a long while, and then she'd be in her back for the whole round. And you can't really do that, with a girl like Cachoeira. Cachoeira gonna push a heavy pace and land heavy shots. And if you're on your back taking big blows, it just doesn't look good, and you can also get knocked out. So I'm gonna go with Cachoeira, KO TKO, first round, guys. I'm not confident. Next fighter, we got Francis Marshall versus William Gomez. Marshall here is pretty well-rounded guy, man. I think this guy's a pretty good prospect here. I'm saying that. Let's see what happens. Like I said, anybody can drop the ball here, guys. He will let his hands go. His wrestling is not bad. His defense is not bad either. And he will look for the submission, right? Gomez here is more athletic guy, a more striking base. Will also look for takedowns too. But he can also get taken down. He will also look for submissions too. He's more elusive with the style, more unorthodox kind of vibe with him. Fight long, kind of mix up the techniques, kind of tricky with the movement there. But I see holes. I just feel like a guy like Marshall, he's just more composed, and I don't see too much holes in Marshall that I see with Gomez. I feel Gomez have some, even with the striking too. I see little holes there. Even with the ground, I see holes also. So I'm going to go with Marshall here, guys. And I'm going to say Marshall by submission in the third round. But I'm not confident in this one, guys. And it's a 50-50 for me. Okay. Both of these three fights here, guys, are 50-50. Okay. Next fight, we've got Muhammad Usman versus Junior Tafa. This fight here, man, is a tricky one because when I look at Tafa, his boxing, his boxing looks okay, but I don't know, man. He kind of like will just run in, and his chin is there to get hit. It's like he doesn't care about his opponent's power. And hopefully he doesn't do this against Usman, because Usman got punching power. These are both big guys, man. So he needs to like be aware of the of his opponent power and not just come in recklessly with his chin there. Because if Usman land on his chin, he could get knocked out, right? And I mean, anybody get hit in the chin can get knocked out. So he can get taken down. He packed power. And he's more inspired by Mark Hunt and David Tua, if you guys know who those guys are. I mean, which you should know who Mark Hunt is. And David Tua is a boxer back in the days, right? With Usman here, is Usman's brother. Usman's brother. He's a big guy, heavy striker here. He sits down on his strikes. The one thing about Usman here, he swings wild, man. He swings wild, and he's duck his head a lot. He duck his head and swing. And can get flat-footed, and he will gas out. But the thing about him is that I feel Tafa is a better striker here. But that's the thing about Tafa is just hopefully he respects this guy's power and not just rushing in with his chin there. But Usman swings wild though, man. He duck his head. You hit him with an uppercut, it can be over. So if Tafa watch footages on Usman, you could see that, and Usman will get tired in the fight, and he can get hurt in the foot and get knocked down. I'm gonna go with Tafa, guys. I'm gonna say Tafa by first round KO TKO, but honestly, man, I'm not confident. And Tafa has a kickboxing base in him, man. So he's been in boxing and kickboxing, so it's not like it's like he has 4 fights in MMA, but he's been in kickboxing and boxing. I'm gonna go with Tafa here, guys, but I'm not confident in this because, like I said, if he comes in here and just start walking you down, like, yeah, I don't care about your punch, I'm just gonna touch you first before you touch me, or he just doesn't care. You can hit me and I come forward, and Usman connects. Anybody, man, get hit to the chin, especially a guy who can actually hit. You get knocked out. So I'm gonna say Tafa by KO TKO first round, 50-50, not confident. Even fight, man. A lot of these fights should be even, guys. Next fight, we got Carla Rosa versus Norma Dumont. This is the next fight here, which is an even fight too, man. I went back and forward. I went for Rosa, then I went back for Dumont. But I'm gonna tell you why, the reasons why I picked Dumont though. I'm gonna go with Dumont here. With Rosa, I feel Rosa could be more well-rounded here. But it all depends on who she's fighting though. She will look for takedowns. She probably would throw more volume, but she's moving up to 145 though, right? But she has fought at big weight classes though, man. I mean, I know this is a grappling match, but it's a grappling match at 180. Was it 180? She was at 185. So she fought at she was grappling at 185, man. So so she probably used to being at a being a higher weight. Maybe she may perform better there. Our opponent here, Dumont, though, is more of a kung fu striking there, more of a Sancho kind of vibe. Basically, her striking is pretty decent. I mean, in my book, she will get kind of low volume at times. Like, she does look for the counters a lot. And she can get taken down, but it's the matchup though, guys. Here, the height and reach, right? If you look at Carla Rosa, they're pretty much the same height and reach. I noticed that she has a 2 inch of height over Rosa. But I noticed that when it comes to taller females, that she doesn't do too well. And she is physically strong, so this is a fight where, against Megan Anderson and Miss Jason, she didn't do too well. Even Danaa Wolf, but Danaa Wolf doesn't have the experience though. When it comes to MMA, she was getting taken down. So a fight like this, I can feel like she can overpower Carla Rosa against the cage and hold her, pin her up, and she can. I feel Dumont striking is more technical, in my opinion. And then the takedowns, I feel like Dumont is going to stop the takedowns because they're pretty much going to be pretty much even on the height and reach, and also looking at Rosa moving up to 145. But like I said, she does wrestling and grappling at 185, so probably shouldn't be a problem. But I'm gonna go with Dumont here, guys. I'm gonna say Dumont could be a split decision here, 50-50 even fight. I'm not confident this at all, guys. So Dumen 50-50 split decision. I'm not confident. All right. Next fight here, guys. We got Rani Yahya versus Mantel Jackson. This one's an interesting one, man. For many reasons here. Look at Rani Yahya here. Super friggin' experienced guy, man. And we see cards that have passed by when, you know, we see the experienced guys are pulling off the wins here. Could this be one of these ones? It's a possibility. 21 by submission. He's good at taking your friggin' back and locking in the hooks. He's good at that. He's good at taking your back. This guy's super experienced, man. His resume goes long. And against Kang here, he showed that. You know, he was kind of losing the first round, and he come back, and he just took Kang's back, just beat him up on the ground and hold him there. You know what I'm saying? He's losing to Ricky Simone and like Joe Soto, but those guys are pretty top level guys. No, can Jackson pull off this win? You know, Jackson have the 4-inch of height and 7-inch of reach, which is massive. And Jackson is a skilled guy, man, but it's the experience though. I mean, he has fought like, if you look at the guys he's losing to, is Brett Jones and Ricky Simone, who are wrestlers. So he got out-wrestled and out-scrambled in the fight. He got controlled, basically, on the ground. We're dealing with a smaller cage here. Brian Kelleher is a wrestler too, but, you know, it's kind of doesn't have that. I mean, he has a level, depending on the fighter. But when he fought Jackson, Jackson was just too much for him, man. But now, can Jackson stop Rani Yahya? Can he actually finish him in the first round? Because he may need to finish him in the first round. It's possible he has the skills, but it's just his resume. You know what I mean? He hasn't really fought nobody, really. And we see this time and time again, you know. And a guy like Rani Yahya is still dangerous on the ground. 5th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Coming out of the American top team, which is tailor-made. This fight is tailor-made for Rani Yahya. It's tailor-made for him in that kind of way. Long, lengthy guy with long reach. If you look at Jackson, his jab is nice, but sometimes he kind of like would wait. Like he's not just consistently throwing. Sometimes he kind of like wait a little bit and doesn't really put that much punches out there. A guy like Rani Yahya I feel he could just lock onto something and drag him down, man. Once Rani Yahya get a hold of him, it could be problems, man. And Jackson gonna need to most likely finish him or keep a high pace where it's like keeping him off of him, and it's a smaller cage, dude. So I'm gonna make a decision here. I'm gonna go with Rani Yahya, guys. Could be wrong, but I just feel like this fight kind of tailor-made for Rani Yahya. Coming to the American top team, he just fought Kang, which Kang is a very experienced guy. It could be the similar fight like what he had with Kang. Kang was beating him up in the first round. Jackson probably could knock out Yahya in the first round. It's possible, but then what happens if he doesn't do it? And when was the last time Jackson had a knockout? Decision. He had a knockout over Jesse Strider in 2021. Most of the fights are decisions. In early fights are probably more knockouts, but in the UFC, he only has one knockout in UFC. And he has a submission. That's it. And the Contender Series, he had a knockout. So you can, if you want to say two, I guess. But in the UFC, you only have one. So, man, I feel Rani is just super experienced, man. He has dealt with this before. No, the reach on Jackson is crazy reach. It's a crazy reach, and like I said, Jackson is a skilled guy, but man, 73 reach. Him and Jackson is pretty much kind of, yeah. So let me see something. Sorry, I'm sorry about that, guys. Let me see. 75. So Kang wasn't so far off of reach. Maybe like 5, and Jackson is 7. I think just the long reach and the height it does favor Rani because he wants the ground. He wants a submission, man. Or he wants to just grind on you and take you back and beat you up and just have you on the ground, which is a smaller cage. So I'm gonna go with Rani, guys. Rani Yahya decision. 50-50. I'm not confident because, like I said, Mantel Jackson could keep a distance. And Yahya does have a heart. Cause Yahya's striking is not the best, man. I'm just gonna be honest. His striking is not the best. He's not gonna be in the level of Jackson, but he just experienced, man. He knows how to get the takedowns. He knows how to lock onto you. So, Yahya, I'm gonna go by decision, 50-50. Next fighter, guys, we got Ricky Glenn versus Christos Gagos. Ricky Glenn here, man. This is a guy that will spoil the party. He will spoil the party, man. He's a well-rounded, gritty guy. He comes to fight, he's durable, and he got heart. He will spoil the party. Against Grant Dawson, I felt he won that fight. He put Grant Dawson to sleep. He actually submitted Grant Dawson. And you could see, if a guy is like out on the ground and he can't even get up, and he got up and he stumbled over, man, that fight wasn't a draw. This fight was submission by Glenn. But it is what it is, though. Like I said, in this game, man, they can sometimes do whatever they feel like they want to do. They're the ones that's creating the rules. So there's always rules and there's regulations that they can mess around with and tamper with, especially if you go judges. You can do whatever they want, man. So a guy like Gagos here, I mean, this guy is well rounded too, but he got finished a couple of times though. He got finished a lot of times, I believe by submission too. But he would drop the ball though, man. That's one thing about him, man. A guy like Rick, you know, Ricky got a hurt and he will keep coming. He's durable and keep coming. You know, I can see Christos Gagos just fading the fight or giving up, and Glenn is not going to give up. He ain't going to give up, man. He's going to keep coming, man. You got to have to finish Glenn. He's been submitted twice, but he's going to keep coming at you. So I'm going to go with Glenn here, guys. I'm going to say Glenn 70% and Gagos 30. I'm going to say Glenn by decision, all right? Next fight here, guys, we got Jeremiah Wells, my bad, versus Matt Sammonsberger. Wells here, this guy's been on fire, man. This guy's explosive, explosive as hell, athletic. Court McGee, Blood Diamond, Wallace Alves, but he's fighting Smellenberger, Matt Smellenberger, which this guy here is very deceiving at times. He had a win over there by well, he won by decision over Jake Matthews, which was a pretty good win. He's well rounded, man. He's a dangerous guy, man. Got power too. This is a guy that will bring the fight, man. Matt Smellenberger, he's a very well-rounded guy too, man. He will look for takedowns. His striking is not bad. He has a win over there by Jake Matthews here by a decision. And this is a guy that will bring the fight, man. So yeah, this is a tough one here because I can see Wells probably getting a knockout here. It's a possibility. But I mean, Matt is a durable guy, man. That's gonna keep coming forward. And Wells, from what I see in a couple of his other fights, like I can see him gas out. But he hasn't gassed out in the verse there. Matt been knocked out once and submitted. I don't think Wells has never been finished. No. Wells has never been finished, man. It's a tough one here, guys. This is definitely even. I can see Matt getting a win here. You know, it all depends. You know, if Jermaine coming in just come straight out the gate, aggressive, just start throwing punches and just trying to finish him real quick. But then again, I see him go to second round and he still gets a finish. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't really see him gassing the UFC yet, even though his fights are quick. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Wells here, guys. I'm gonna say Wells by KO/TKO in the first round, but it's 50-50. And like I said, this fight here, man, this fight is an even fight, guys. And like I said, Matt could win the fight too, so be careful, man. It should be an even fight. So Wells by KO/TKO first round. All right. Next fight here, we got Iasmin Lucindo versus Morgan Walker. Iasmin here. I'm gonna say Iasmin, man. Iasmin is very powerful, man. A lot of punching power here. She will get into brawls though and kind of swing it out with you. against her fight against Iasmin. She looked good in that fight. You know, she hit Iasmin a couple shots there, but she got picked back power. And takedown defense doesn't look good. She also look for the takedowns though, but she will get into the brawls though, man. But like I said, I like what I see from her though. You know what I'm saying? A girl like Walker, coming off of the tough season there, I believe tough Ultimate Fighter season 30. She lost to Julian Miller. Lost by ground and pound. She's a BJJ black belt, but man, her ground game just doesn't look appealing to me. And even her striking, I just feel that a girl like Liz Min is just gonna unload on her, man. She's gonna come in there and put that high pressure on her. And like I said, with Liz Min, she's aggressive. I mean, she is aggressive, man, and she'll come in here and just let the hands go, man. So I'm gonna go with Lasmin. Did I say Lisman? I'm gonna go with Lasmin by KO TKO in the first round. I'm gonna say Lasmin 60%, and I'm gonna say Walker 40. All right, and I'm not confident, even though I'm 60% on Lasmin, but you know I'm not too confident. Like I said, sometimes with the women fights here, you know they will drop the ball. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean you just never know. Maybe Walker come in there and get a submission. It's possible. But I like what I see from Lasmin, alright? Next fight here, we got Bobby Green versus Gerard Gordon. Green, more in that Philly shell kind of vibe, kind of shell up boxing style, kind of slip, roll with the punches, but he's still hittable though, like we saw in his last fight there. He got finished by Joe Dober. Sorry, not Joe Dober, Drew Dober. But he would also look to wrestle. His takedown defense is not bad. Can get taken down though. And he will, yeah, I mean, there's sometimes he will fade in the fight. But, of lately now, he's been going to decision and he's been looking good. Against this fight against Nasrat Haqparast. Yeah, I mean, he didn't look too bad in that fight, man. The thing about this fight that Green is going to have the speed advantage and the jab on him and just the footwork and the time and speed, man. Gerard Gordon is a grinder and, he will push a high pace coming forward, but his footwork, man. It's just his footwork and his fighting IQ is just not the best. Green fight IQ is it's okay, but I just feel Gordon is just flat-footed and is there to get jabbed up all day, man. I mean, he will swing overhands, but I believe Gordon may have a puncher's chance if he can connect with the overhand. But and what I see from his fight against Paddy Pimblett, whenever you watch the fight, I can see why Paddy won the fight. People say it's a robbery, but I would say Paddy by a split though. But I can see why Paddy won. Paddy was hitting him a lot. There was more shots landed by Paddy. With Gordon, he was landing heavy overhands, and I believe he took him down the third. But I feel Paddy got a little bit of first, and he definitely got the second, and the third was kind of up in the air. Maybe Gordon had the third round, but yeah, man, I got to go with Green here for the win, man. I just feel Green is just more elusive, timing. It's a speed advantage, man. The jab, he should win this fight, man. And if he doesn't win, then damn, it happens, right? But I really don't see Gordon. The only way I see Gordon winning if he just put him against a cage and hold him. But Green he's going to be moving in this fight. He's going to be slipping and he's going to be staying in the center. He's going to be staying off the cage and just doing what he did with Haqparast. The Haqparast fight, he's going to be doing the similar thing. So I'm going to go with Green here, and I'm going to say Green by decision. I'm going to say Green 60%. I'm going to say Gordon 40. All right. Next fight here, guys. We have Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. This is the co-main event, okay? We got Tavares here. Tavares I feel is a more well-rounded guy here, man. Tavares is a veteran too, man. This guy been in the game for a long time, man. Fought Robert Whittaker, Tim Bosch, Nate Marquardt, UFC 182, Jones versus Cormier. Tim Bosch, Yoel Romero, Lawrence Larkin. He actually beat Lawrence Larkin. So this guy been in the game for a minute, man. Aaron Simpson, Phil Baroni. Yeah, so it wasn't an Ultimate Fighter show. I mean, that is how he came around. So this guy been in the game for a minute, man. He packed power, but he goes to a lot of decisions though, and also have a submission game. His opponent here is Silva though. Silva is a first round finisher guy, man, and he's heavy handed. He has like over what 20 something knockouts, but he's a first round finisher, and his fundamental, that way he strike, is like kind of like he's kind of a reckless kind of vibe. He has 19 by knockout. He just swings wild and swings overhand, and like it just doesn't look good. And sometimes his footwork doesn't look as good either. Kind of like, kind of like flat-footed, right? I'm kind of like in Tavares for this fight here, man. I mean, can Silva get a knockout? It's possible, but if Tavares moves in and out and uses footwork and uses a jab and just pick his shots, he's supposed to can beat Silva here, man. I mean, Silva lost to Gerald Merchant, man. I mean, and he's not even that, that Gerald Merchant took him down and submitted him. Gerald Merchant knocked him down, like hurt him on the foot, which he could have got a knockout over Silva. He could have got a knockout, but he actually hurt him with an uppercut, or I believe it was a hook punch. He hit him with a hook punch and knocked him down. Then he slapped on the guillotine choke. So I'm liking Brad Tavares here, man. Like I said, Brad Tavares can drop the ball too, man. I'm saying so just be careful with this one. You never know. It just all depends on the training these guys coming with. Maybe he wasn't prepared for the Merchant fight. He coming here more. He coming here more prepared. And then Silva landed overhand. It's possible, man. But I'm gonna go with Tavares. I'm gonna say Tavares by decision, 50-50 for me, guys. All right. Next fight here we have Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blaydes. This fight here is it's a tricky one here because Sergey looks very good, man, and he be finishing all his fights in the first round. But it all depends on who is and the guys who he's finishing though, like Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, Shamil, Amabov. Maurice Green, Marcelo Goum. He fought Allison over him, and he got ground and pounded. He got taken down in that fight. Yeah, man. So a guy like Curtis Blaydes, man, it's the wrestling that's going to help him in this fight. But I see from Sergey, his hands, his striking is powerful. Like, he looks good on the foot, man. So what's going to help Curtis here is his wrestling. And Curtis have a strong wrestling base here. He will look to grind. He would look for the he would look for the knockdown too. He would look to knock you down too, but he can also get knocked out. He's been knocked out 3 times. His wrestling is going to make a difference here. He has to use his wrestling in this fight. It's just the experience too. I feel like he fought to the competition and lose to them too. He lost to Derek Lewis though because he got caught, but he was winning that fight though. He lost to Francis Ngannou twice, but his resume, Marco and Allison over him, Aleski Olnik. I'm saying I feel that he fought, Alexander Volkov. He fought tougher competition, man, and he beat them. So Sergey, if he stands with Sergey, it could be a problem. I don't advise him, which I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to just grind. This fight could look like when he fought Rosenstruck. It could look similar to when he fought Rosenstruck. He just like grindy fight and just kind of like never want to stand up, because he's just avoiding the power. So it's just going to be like a grindy fight. So to some people, it could be a boring fight, right? So that should be the game plan. But I just feel like with Sergey, he knocked out these guys, but Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, Derek Lewis is kind of on the fading side, and Shamil Amadov is like, he's freaking, that guy's pretty much done, dude. It's like back-to-back knockouts. Like, every fight is like getting knocked out or finished. Yeah, man, and that guy's on a decline. He's pretty much done. The toughest fight he has was maybe against Allison Overeem, and he lost that one. So I'm gonna go with Blaydes here, man. I'm gonna say Curtis Blaydes by decision, a grindy fight, but it's 50-50 because Curtis been knocked out a couple of times, and we see he can get caught. So if he comes in there and then stand up and then don't respect Sergey power, he can get knocked out, man. It's possible, or he can get countered. Anything is possible in this game, but I'm just gonna say Curtis is gonna avoid the power and just grind with his wrestling. He needs to wrestle in this fight. So that's it right there, guys. That's my prediction right there. Quick look at the odds, see what we're working with here. Crazy odds, crazy odds. Oh man, let's see what we're working with, man. Let's see what we're working with. Let's see what we're working with. I may do Bellator too, guys. I'm not sure. There's a Bellator card coming up. I'm not the one on Friday, maybe the one on Saturday. That card is pretty good. I believe that's with Patchy Mix. That card is not bad. With Patchy Mix and Stouts, this is actually a pretty good card, man. Yeah, you have like McFarlane and Cano. Got Aaron Pico on the card too. We got Ray Borg too. We got a lot of good fights on this card, man. This is actually a pretty good card, man. You got a lot of good fighters on this card. So I may probably break this down and do a prediction on it too. I'm gonna try to get it out to you. All right. Quick look at the odds. What we're working with. Let's see what we have here. Danaa 140. I don't disagree with that. I feel Danaa should win this fight, you know, based on the guys that he's training with. It's a close fight in my opinion, though, but Danaa should win. And the odds is not that much of a high odd. Silva and Cohero, damn. Hold on, they got Silva 200 or something. Damn, that's madness, dude. Even though Cohero, in my opinion, is not, the foundation is not that great. She's kind of a brawler. Just her technique is, she's a heavy hitter. And she'll push forward, but then she has been getting better. But I just feel that her technique is not that strong, man. It's not that technical. But she will push a heavy pace and knock you out. And with Silva here, you know, she's skilled and everything like that, but I don't think she's been tested too much. She shouldn't be so high, man. The odds on that is messed up, guys. If it's anything, there should be an even fight. I like Cohero, and look, she's an underdog. So be careful. Francis Marshall and Gomez. I'm liking Marshall here. Marshall is 200 or something. These guys are too high. Cause they're not that well known, you know, to put so high on the odds, man. Gomez is an elusive guy. Very athletic guy, lengthy, you know. He's kind of a Anderson Silva kind of vibe of striking slightly. You know what I'm saying? But I feel Marshall is just more experienced here and a more technical guy in a kind of sense of you know, his technique is just more put together properly. I feel with Gomez is kind of just holes. I would be still careful with this one, all right? Tafa and Usman, perfect. Even fight. They got this one right. So even fight, man. You can go either way. Carla Rosa and Dumont. They got Dumont as a slight favorite, but it's even. And some other sides here, okay? I don't see nothing wrong with this one. Even fight, like I said. Montel Jackson is 600 over Yahya. Damn. Oh man, I disagree with that, man. Even though Jackson is, you know, he seems like a skilled striker. He is, you know, but it all depends on the matchup, though. That's the thing. It's the matchup. It's the matchup. I think Jackson is way too high, man. And now that I see this, I feel Jackson is way too high. I'm not saying Jackson can't win. He can't piece him up on the foot and then pull off a win. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Yahya, like I said. So Yahya is plus 425, man. So I may do some switches on my face off. It just all depends on what I see. So, but for now, I'm still with Yahya on my main place. All right. Sanchez and Iasmin. Iasmin is 275. I really don't disagree because what I see from Sanchez is just nothing really stands out. The fight probably got scrapped. Ricky Glenn 160. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I feel Glenn is just the more mental fighter here. The more heart is going to push forward and he's not going to give up. Wells and Matthew, even. I don't disagree, man. Like I said, Matthew could win this fight too, guys. I don't disagree with the odds in here. And they kind of get these odds right, man. Oh, yeah. Walker, no, I think I said that. Walker and Usman. Did I miss something here? Okay, it's the same. Okay, it's like, okay, she's a little bit higher now. She's 350 now. Holy crap. I mean, for what I see from her, she should win the fight. She's powerful with the punching and the strikes. And what I see from Walker ground game, it just doesn't look good. And then Walker striking doesn't even compare to the power that this girl have, and the time and speed, and even the movement. Be careful, like I said, man. When it comes to these women fight here, especially when they're not you know what I'm saying, they're not really well known here, man. For Iasmin to be 350, gotta be careful, man. Be careful with this one, guys. But I like Iasmin still though. Gerard Gordon and Bobby Green. Bobby Green 270. And to be honest, man, I think Bobby Green should win this fight. I think he does have a slight reach, I think. But the jab on him, the movement, and Gerard Gordon is a straight line. He's just there to get hit. And he's going to be the slower fighter. Green is a quicker fighter here, man. Should win unless Gordon get a puncher's chance. Or Gordon somewhere another wrestle. But then Bobby Green has wrestling too. And his takedown defense is not bad. So today I am liking Green, but you can still be careful. Tavares 160, Silva underdog here. This fight should be a little more closer to me because, like I said, with Silva, you know, he may can get an overhand, and Tavares can get hurt and get knocked out. You know, I mean, even though Brad Tavares is a veteran and he looks good in his workouts, and I watched a couple footage of him, he looks good. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a slight closer though, but I'll still be careful with this one though, man. But I'm liking Tavares. Curtis Blaydes and Sergio Pickback. Blaydes 165. I don't disagree with that. As long as he uses wrestling, man. But a matter of fact, the fact that Blaydes can get knocked out, be knocked out 3 times, I would say this is more even. Yeah, I say this is more even, guys, because if Blaydes, which I know Blaydes can wrestle, so that's not a problem. But really get caught in those transitions when he's wrestling. When he really get caught going for the takedowns, like he did against the Black Beast. It's possible, man. Or he's gonna come in here on a strike and then get caught. So it should be an even fight, guys. So that's it right there, guys. That's my predictions or odd breakdowns. You guys subscribe to this channel. You guys hit the thumbs up button. You can donate to my PayPal. Enough respect out to everybody that's been donating, and check out my Patreon account too. I'm gonna try to do the Bellator. I'm not gonna leave any promises. I'm gonna try to take a look at it and then drop some predictions down for you guys there. I'm gonna try to. And yeah, man, you guys keep on kicking. One love out to everybody. And